What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of my new career mode. This is episode number 52, and we start today's episode off with a look at the successful negotiations page. You can see the players that came in and the players that left. The transfer window is now, of course, over until January, so you can take a look at the players that have come in and also left Torino. Not the busiest of transfer windows, in all honesty, not the busiest of transfer windows, but in the transfer window, we did what we needed to do, I feel. You know, we signed a couple of good players for the first team, of course, a couple of players came in on pre-contracts as well. A good pacey player for the bench in Cater too. We did what we needed to do. I'm happy with that. And the players that left the club too, I don't think left on the cheap either, in players like Choupo-Moting and Bernardeschi. So we take on Palermo for the first game of today's episode here, and the first chance would fall in the 4th minute as well, as we drill in across towards Dybala. And wouldn't you just know it, Paulo Dybala, who signed from Palermo in the summer transfer window, returns to his old club and scores against them. Just like Poloski did in the first season, Dybala does in the third. Comes back to his old club. His first game against his old team away from home, and grabs a goal against them as well. And here's a question for you guys. Dybala, our biggest signing of the new window, how many league goals do you think he's going to score this season? With Poloski, he ended up getting 27 in his first season. Immobile got 23. Dybala's the new man in this year. How many league goals do you think he'll score in the Serie A this season? I'm going to go with 20. I'm going to go rounded figure, 20 goals, because I think he could score quite a few goals for us this season, but it depends on what happens with Immobile when he comes back from injury and how I decide to rotate him, Poloski, and Dybala in this team. So I'm going to go 20 league goals. Let me know how many goals you think Dybala will score in the comments, and it'll be interesting to see whether you guys end up guessing correctly come the end of the season. Still, 1-0 soon became 2-0 in the 22nd minute. Dybala scored our first goal. Gabbiadini scored our second. So Dybala got his first league goal for the season this year in this game. Gabbiadini does the same here, heading in this cross, putting it past the goalkeeper and making it Palermo 0, Torino 2. So the perfect start to this game, and in the 43rd minute it could have got even better. Florenzi chips the ball through towards Gabbiadini, who scored our second goal, tries to take it past his man, gets taken down and ends up winning a penalty as well. And you know, in the Napoli game, in the last game, we drew 0-0 with a goalless draw, but we did win a penalty. However, I chipped it down the middle as I wasn't sure whether it was one, as I'll always do for penalties I'm uncertain about. This one was a clear penalty. As you can see there, he takes it round him, gets tripped up, and it's a definite penalty to contact and none on the ball. So penalty to Torino. Unlike the Napoli game, I'm not going to chip it down the middle and give the goalkeeper a simple catch. I'm going to go for goal myself. Poloski standing over it against Viviano. Who's going to come out on top in the battle of wits, the number 9 or the number 24? It is Alberto Poloski, of course, the Punisher, making it Palermo 0, Torino 3. So it is going to be interesting what I'll do when Immobile comes back, how I'll rotate the strikers in this team, because Immobile, Poloski and Dybala, I would imagine, are all good enough to play in the first 11, but even so, both Poloski and Dybala score in this game, making it Palermo 0, Torino 3, and the home side really didn't do too well in this game. And in the 50th minute, a great chance to make it 4-0. Danilo sprints down the right-hand side, has the pace on Lazar, rises the slide challenge, keeps on going, drills in the cross, picks out Dybala, and for the second time in this game, he scores a goal against his former club and makes it Palermo 0, Torino 4. So 4 goals up in this game, and we're only 5 minutes into the second half. Palermo just not looking really good defensively at all and couldn't really create anything in this game. But it was kind of interesting because we weren't actually, creating too many opportunities. It's just when we did get chances, we were taking them and being really clinical. Still, Palermo 0, Torino 4, and in the 62nd minute, it could have been 5-0 even. Alexandro almost scores his first goal for the club with a wonder strike. What a lovely goal that would have been. But sadly, it does go just over the bar by the left back, so still 4-0. And in the 86th minute, Palermo had a rare chance here to grab themselves a consolation goal as the game was coming to its close. They kept hold of the ball pretty nicely, eventually worked their way inside, and well, as you'll see here, the pass comes in and the shot finds the back of the net. And don't get me wrong, he's 25 yards out, I'd say 22 yards out probably, around that range anyway, and it's a first time strike, and he gets hold of it really well, don't get me wrong. But I do really like Bernie as a goalkeeper. He does make some really good saves every now and then, he's usually quite consistent too, but I'm surprised that a goalkeeper of his class is beaten by that. There's not too much shot power on the ball. There is swerve, yes, but it's pretty much straight at him, and he just gets looped, like he gets lobbed from a shot coming from outside the area there, which wasn't even a chip shot. I mean, I think that Bernie should be saving that. Maybe I'm being a bit too critical here. I know sometimes I'm a little bit critical of the goalkeepers, but I'm surprised that a goalkeeper of his ability, a goalkeeper of his class, I'm surprised he didn't get a glove on that, and it just seemed to go over his head and into the back of the net. Still, Palermo 1, Torino 4. It didn't really matter. It's just a consolation goal for Palermo, but still always disappointing to throw away a clean sheet late on in the game, which you've controlled, and we did control it as well. As you can see there, we didn't have too many shots in the game, and despite having only 3 on target, we still scored 4 goals somehow. But we did play much better than Palermo. We controlled the game, really. Didn't need to go out enigmatically and trying to score loads and loads of more goals. I was fine with the 4 we had, and how we upped the pressure, we could have possibly even got 5 or 6. But even so, a 4-1 victory. Very pleased to get the win in that game, and of course that is our first league win of the season after drawing a goalless draw in the first game against Napoli at the Stadio Olimpico di Torino. Still, for the second and final game of today's episode here, we take on Feyenoord away from home in our first Champions League game this season. Of course, in our Champions League group, we got Real Madrid, St Etienne and Feyenoord as well. A side note, St Etienne could have been a side this career mode would be with if it wasn't for you guys voting for Torino in the poll. But even so, those 3 teams right there, I said in the last episode, like, don't get me wrong, Feyenoord and St Etienne, not bad sides whatsoever. I've faced them before in career mode already this year. But even so, I think we should have the better on them, and I think it's going to be about who comes top between us and Real Madrid. And the first chance of the game would fall in the 9th minute, and the first goal would be scored as well. It would go to Torino, and it was Zardes grabbing the goal. I've sung this guy's praises so many times for us, well, since he came in last season, as a really awesome player in your squad who sits in the reserves, doesn't get too much game time, but whenever he does play, he does a really good job and usually gets a couple of goals as well. And he already scores here just 9 minutes in, making it Feyenoord 0, Torino 1, and we take the lead in this game away in the Netherlands. So Feyenoord 0, Torino 1, and 5 minutes later it could have been 2-0. Again, Zardes goes on a run, checks back, gets himself onto his left foot and shoots. The shot is saved by Vermeer, and he turns it behind for a corner, but the referee gives a penalty to Torino. So penalty to Torino here. Congolo took down Zardes, but just like in the game against Napoli, I didn't think it was a penalty because you can see why the referee gives it, but Zardes gets a clean shot away there, and I don't really think that's a penalty. Congo's got his arms up in the air. It's just a coming together of bodies, a bit of an unfortunate collision, really. I didn't think that was a penalty. So just like in the Napoli game, chip it down the middle. Doesn't matter whether we're winning, losing or drawing, always going to be chipping it down the middle if we're not too sure. Vermeer stands still and has the simple save. So I think the AI might have figured it out now that the key to stopping penalties that I'll score could score come from standing down the middle. That's the best chance you'll get, as I do chip quite a few of them per season due to the unpredictability of whether I think a penalty should be given or not. Still, Feyenoord 0, Torino 1. We do miss that penalty intentionally, but we're still leading this game. Just a couple minutes later, another great chance for us again. Zardes' shot well saved by Vermeer and turned behind for a corner. And from that corner, it's crossed in. Again, Zardes, the danger man, wins the header, but it goes wide the post and behind for a goal kick. So still Feyenoord 0, Torino 1. And just past half an hour mark here, another good chance to double the lead. We were playing really, really well right from the off in this game. Florenzi goes forward and shoots, but puts his shot just off target and behind for a goal kick. So still 1-0 to Torino going into the break. But 7 minutes after the restart, we were still leading by a goal to nil. I wanted a second goal to give us some breathing room and give us a 2-goal cushion, and we got it as well. Manolo Gabbiadini gets his second goal in 2 games. A really nice ball through by Baselli, I think it might have been, and a really awesome finish by Gabbiadini as well. I'm not sure it was actually Baselli, not too sure who it was that played the ball through, maybe Darmian, but still really nice ball through towards Gabbiadini, and a really good finish as well as he makes it Feyenoord 0, Torino 2. So 2 goals up in this game. Gabbiadini's second goal in 2 games, his first of tonight, and it's Feyenoord 0, Torino 2. And in the 60th minute here, a good chance for Feyenoord to get themselves back in the game. Jordi Clasie on the ball, rolls it out wide towards the number 7, back inside. Eventually the shot is taken after the number 7 whips in, tries to whip in across. It's not fully dealt with here, and thankfully the shot goes over the bar and behind for a goal kick. That was a real let-off there after some poor defending. So still Feyenoord 0, Torino 2. And from the goal kick, we pass out from the back as per usual. Bernie finds Danilo through towards Darmian, inside towards Benassi. Benassi controls, and it actually might have been Benassi who got the assist for the Gabbiadini goal. Anyway, the ball gets played through towards Poloski, goes down left-hand side, tries to shoot from a tight angle, but curls the shot over the bar and behind for a goal kick. So still Feyenoord 0, Torino 2 in this game. But in the 69th minute, again, a good chance to make it 3-0. Feyenoord, other than the one chance they had, weren't really looking too strong. And in the 70th minute, Gabbiadini, who was playing really well for us, finds Poloski, turns his man, holds up the ball, rolls it through towards Alexandro. He dummies with the shot, takes out a defender, and ends up finessing the ball into the corner and makes it Feyenoord 0, Torino 3. So a really nice goal by Alexandro there. It's his first goal in a Torino shirt. So the left back getting the goal and making it Feyenoord 0, Torino 3. As he got played the ball by Poloski, I could have shot it first time, but I thought instead I'll try and make sure the defender gets caught out a little bit with a fake shot and end up smashing the ball to the corner. Not the finesse shot, shot, smashing the ball to the corner, and that's exactly what I did. So Feyenoord 0, Torino 3. The game was looking as good as done anyway, to be honest, because Feyenoord, other than a couple of chances, weren't doing too well, but even so, 3-0 to Torino, and it's surely going to be the 3 points to us here in the first Champions League game. In the 77th minute, Feyenoord did go relatively close, this header going over the bar and behind for a goal kick, so still 3-0, and in the 80th minute, another good chance for Feyenoord here, as he failed to deal with a cross. It comes to Al Ahmadi, through towards Jordi Classy. He shoots from range, from just inside the area, and it goes over the bar and behind for a goal kick. So they started getting chances late on in the game, but it was a little bit too late for them really to cause a rally and cause us a sweat. We knew we were going to get the 3 points and get the win in the first game of the group stage. Could have been 4-0 in the 84th minute. Pulowski cuts inside, great chance to make it 4-0, but the shot goes over the bar and behind for a goal kick. But it doesn't matter, we win the game by 3 goals to 0, so the perfect start to the Champions League group. As I said before, I think it is going to be between us and Real Madrid for first and second place in this group, but even so, you've got to get the wins in the games. You've got to start the group off really early with a big win. I always feel that's a really good sign of what's to come, really, if you can win the opening game convincingly, and we certainly did that with a good 3-0 scoreline and a thoroughly deserving one as well. And despite us losing possession, we were the much better side. But that does end the episode, guys, so as always, big thank you for watching the video. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the episode, then please do leave a like, and I'll see you for the next episode of my new career mode very soon.